If you're a parent looking for fun and engaging projects to teach your child about money at home, then you've come to the right place. NextGen Personal Finance is a nonprofit organization that creates free resources for teachers to teach personal finance at the high school and middle school level. In this video, we're going to be looking at how parents can take the Ngpf resources provided on our website and adapt them for usage at home. We'll be taking a closer look at an activity from the investing unit called Project, Why Don't People Invest? This activity will give your child the opportunity to take on the role of a journalist and go through the process from writing interview questions to conducting interviews and finally writing an article that summarizes what they've learned. To access this activity, head on over to ngpf.org. Select the Resources tab and click on Activities. Scroll down to select the Investing unit. On this page, you'll see all of the activities under the Investing unit that Ngpf has available. Scroll down until you see Project, Why Don't People Invest? Click View Google Doc to open up this activity. If you have a printer at home, this is a good place to pause and press Print. Since this activity requires your child to interview people, it's a great thing for your child to be able to have the hard copy of this activity in front of them. If you'd rather have your child do this activity digitally, just make sure that you are logged into a Gmail email account. Then select File, make a copy, and you can save this document with any name you'd like in your Google Drive. Then you can share this with your child and they'll be able to edit the document themselves. First up in this project, students are asked to analyze some data. There are 2 surveys linked in the text at the top of page 1, as well as 2 graphs provided on the top of page 1 as well. It's a great entry exercise to have your students look at the data and make a few observations about the information provided. If you scroll down to part 1 of this project, you'll see a list of 6 different articles that your child can choose from. We recommend that your child read at least 2 of these articles for some context about current investment trends. If you have a printer at home, you can print these articles out and have your child take notes in the margins. Or if not, your child can access these articles on a phone, tablet, or computer. After familiarizing themselves with 2 of the 6 articles in part 1 of this project, your child is ready to move on to part 2, where they'll be tasked with writing their interview questions. The bullet points in this part of the project share a few tips for your child to help them with writing the interview questions. The note in red reminds your child to use what they learned from reading the articles in part 1 and to refer back to the graphs on the top of page 1 to help them come up with interesting questions. You'll notice that the chart provided in this part of the project has 2 sections. The first section is for questions for those who say that they do invest in the stock market. And the second section of the chart is for questions for people who say that they don't invest in the stock market. Once your child has brainstormed a list of questions to ask their interviewees, they're ready to move on to conducting the interviews, which is part 3 of this activity. For each interview, your child will need to take detailed notes so that they have reliable information to come back and refer to for their final assignment. Finally, in part 4 of this project, your child will write their own article after conducting all of the interviews. As a parent, you'll want to decide on a few guidelines for your child to follow. For example, decide how many interviews your child should conduct. Talking about money and investing can be considered a taboo topic of conversation. So a great way that you can support your child as a parent is to be the first person that your child interviews for this project. This will allow your child to be a bit more comfortable asking you questions and open up the opportunity for your child to see what it's like to interview someone about investing for this project. Now that you know where to find the Ngpf activity called Project, Why Don't People Invest? We're confident that you'll be able to guide your child through the process of creating interview questions, interviewing people about their investing experience, and finally writing an article that summarizes everything your child has learned about the importance of investing.